All right, everyone. It is Thursday. It is another Thursday in the catch pen. It's a little later than I normally do these. It's because I've been out bush hogging some pasture. I'm trying to get the grass shorter so I can get in there with a disc and start breaking the ground up. We generally try to get our ryegrass planted by November. I'd like to get a little sooner, but by November. I got some baby calves that are coming right now, and they will do really, really well with that ryegrass. I hope that your week has been a good week. It's been kind of warm here. We had a little cold snap, or cooler snap, but now it is definitely warmer. You know, just the other evening, Miss Barbara and I, we were outside, we were enjoying the evening and swatting mosquitoes, but we were looking at the stars in the sky. Of course, those stars that show up kind of early in the evening are your planets, Jupiter, Saturn, and so on. But we did turn our direction to the North Star. That North Star, it's got quite a legacy, that North Star does. The North Star never moves. It stays on that, actually they call that star the Polaris star. It stays right on the polar axis of the Earth. And it never moves. All night long it will be there. We will spin around, but the North Star will stay right where it is. Man, I can't explain that to you. I wish that I could. But I do know one thing. I'm thankful that it does. Aren't you? I'm thankful that it does. For years, hundreds and hundreds of years, men have sailed across vast oceans basically following stars. Do you know why they can do that? It's because God created the stars and the constellations. And just as God is trustworthy, He's consistent, He never changes, neither does His creation. Those men, for hundreds and hundreds of years, have crossed big, vast oceans, basically looking at the stars and the sun. They can navigate because those things never change, never change. I think that is a great, great attribute of our God. He never changes. In James it says here, there's no shifting of shadow with God. He doesn't shift around. He's one day one way and one day another way. No, no, no. He is always the same. And you can count on Him. Friend, you can count on God to be who He is. He's sovereign. No one tells Him what to do, when to do it, or where to do it. He does what He wants to do when He wants to do it, in your life and in mine. And the day you realize that, the day you accept that, life starts to make a little more sense, doesn't it? That North Star got me to thinking. I had read a while back a story about men who were crossing the Llano Escotado. If you got to know where that is, then you're not from Texas, okay? But any Texan will tell you where the Llano Escotado is. But it is a vast, vast, hundreds of acres of nothing. Nothing. No trees, no mountains, no anything, no landmarks to follow. And men used to trail their cattle across the Llano Escotado. And the only way that they could do it was by the North Star. Well, listen to me. I know this is a story, and I think even Red Steagall made a song out of it, but it makes for a good lesson. I read where the camp cook, okay, he was always in charge of the wagon. And it was said that every evening before everybody went to bed, the camp cook used to take the tongue of the wagon and put it to the North Star. Why? Because the North Star never moves. It never changes. You can trust it with your life, just like you can trust God with your life. he would move that tongue to the North Star, and when they got up in the morning, they knew which way they needed to start going based upon what that tongue told them. I know you have the sun sometimes going up and down, east and west, but you always know where the north is. You know what? This country, the country I live in that you live in, has lost its bearings, haven't it? Hasn't it? They've lost their bearing. They don't know which way to go. They don't know what to do. Each day is different. The rules change from one day to the next. I told a gentleman the other day that we have a generation today that's in crisis. They don't know what to do. And they're dependent on the government, on our leaders to tell them what to do. Ooh, that might not be the best thing. Eh? You know what I'm talking about, right? Because God has already told us what to do. God already told us which way to go. God's already told us what is right and what is wrong. God has told us what is good and what is evil. But today, these men and women have changed those things, haven't they? They've swapped them for this generation. Now we have a generation of young men and women that don't even know if they're a man or a woman. They don't even know who they are. We've got men and women fighting over sexuality and what is acceptable and what's an alternate lifestyle. When all the time God has told us, listen to me, God has already told us what is right and what is wrong. But we have lost our bearings, haven't we, as a nation? Somebody moved the tongue of the wagon, if you might say. Somebody's moved that tongue and we don't recognize the direction we need to go. Heck, I know in my life, I've moved that tongue now and again, haven't you? I have found myself in places I don't belong. And it's not because God has moved or God has changed. It's because I have moved and I have changed. Think about that. Friend, if you need to move the tongue back to the north, please do it. Please do it now. And join with me in trying to tell this generation there's a God in heaven that loves them and wants the best for them, but they're going the wrong direction. I hope this has been an encouragement to you. I know that it is a struggle out there to live the life God's called us to live in this world of darkness. He's commanded us to be light in darkness. I'm just here to encourage you, folks. That's all I'm here to do. I do this at the end of the day, and I just hope it helps you as you walk your walk with God. Always share these with as many folks as you can. Let's pass the word, okay? Let's get that wagon tongue back to the North Star. Let's start heading the direction we're supposed to be heading, especially as we see that day drawing nearer. I hope that you have a great week coming up, and I'll see you next Thursday. God bless.